When was the last time you truly heard silence? Not the muted hum of traffic outside your window, not the pause between notifications, but silence so complete it felt like the earth itself was breathing. For most of us, that kind of silence has become rare. We live in a world saturated with noise. Digital, emotional, cultural, every second is filled, every gap plugged. Silence has become a luxury, something you have to leave your life behind to find. And that is exactly what more and more people are doing. Retreats, silent monasteries in the mountains, weekend escapes with no Wi-Fi, 10 days of Vipassana where speaking, reading, even eye contact are surrendered. The wellness travel industry has exploded in recent years, up more than 30% in the last year alone. And what are people paying for? Not luxury, not indulgence, but something far more radical, the chance to stop. This is the paradox. We travel the world not for adventure, but to rediscover stillness. We spend money not to fill our days with activities, but to empty them of everything unnecessary. We go far away not to escape life, but to finally return to it. Because silence in its truest form is not absence, it is presence. Picture this: you arrive at a retreat. Your phone is taken from you at the door, no signal, no screens, no endless scroll. At first, panic rises. You feel cut off, like part of you is missing. But slowly, as hours pass, something strange begins to happen. Your mind, no longer fractured by constant input, starts to settle. You notice details you had forgotten how to see: the rhythm of your breath, the sound of footsteps on gravel, the warmth of sunlight on your skin. What seemed like emptiness reveals itself as fullness, and the silence you feared becomes medicine. Why are people drawn to these retreats now more than ever? Because the modern world has pushed us to breaking point. We live in constant stimulation, 100 voices, 1,000 images, all demanding our attention all day long. Our nervous systems were not built for this flood, so we shut down, we grow numb. We scroll more, hoping the next post will soothe us, but it only leaves us emptier. The retreat offers an antidote. It says, stop running, stop consuming, stop performing, just be. And in that being, something begins to heal. Of course, silence is not always easy. On the first days of a retreat, many describe the discomfort as unbearable. With no distractions, you are left face to face with yourself. Old memories rise, buried emotions surface. The mind protests, restless, desperate for stimulation. But if you stay with it, if you breathe through the discomfort, the silence transforms. What felt heavy becomes light. What felt empty becomes alive. And you discover that what you were running from was never silence. It was your own unacknowledged self. This is why silence is sacred. It is a mirror. It reflects what we have hidden beneath layers of noise. It shows us the parts of us that are still waiting to be loved. And beyond the personal, retreats remind us of something cultural. We were not made to live in constant acceleration. Life itself moves in cycles, day and night, seasons of growth and seasons of rest. The human body, the human soul follows this rhythm, but hustle culture taught us to ignore it. Retreats invite us back into alignment. The rise of wellness tourism is not just about self-care, it is about survival. It is people recognizing that in order to live fully in this age, we must create spaces where stillness is not just allowed, but celebrated. And the irony? You don't need to travel across the world to find this. The silence retreats point to something available everywhere. It is here, in the pause between breaths. It is here when you put the phone down. It is here when you walk without headphones, when you sit in the early morning and listen to the world waking up. But sometimes we need to go far away, to strip everything else away, to remember that silence was never gone. It was only drowned out. So what can we take from this rise of retreats? First, the reminder that silence is not weakness. It is strength. It does not erase life. It deepens it. It turns ordinary moments into sacred ones. Second, the invitation to create mini retreats in daily life. 5 minutes of quiet in the morning before the rush. One meal without screens, an evening walk where you let yourself simply notice. You don't need 10 days in a monastery to begin, you only need the courage to pause. And third, the challenge to redefine luxury. Luxury is not always about what we can buy. Sometimes it is about what we can let go of. The richest experience may not be found in adding more, but in subtracting everything unnecessary. Because silence, at its core, is not absence. It is presence, the kind of presence that nourishes the soul in ways no possession ever could. So if you are tired, if you feel the world is too loud, consider this your invitation. To seek silence, not as escape, but as return. To step into the refuge of stillness, whether in a retreat or in your own living room. To remember that beyond the noise, beyond the endless demands, there is a place within you untouched by chaos. And in that place you will find not emptiness, but life. The silence you fear is the silence that heals. And sometimes the greatest journey is not toward more, but toward less. Not outward, but inward. Not louder, but quieter. Because in the refuge of silence, the soul finally comes home.